Yep, we're live now.
Okay.
Hey guys, I am Colin Watson, the host of this here podcast. The host of this here podcast where we drop sports knowledge, joined by my friend CT3 Clarence Taylor III. Why don't you introduce yourself, CT3?
What's up? My name is Clarence Taylor III, CT3, whatever you call me. Looking to talk about sports.
Yes. We've been trying to launch this for a while. We had some technical difficulties sync the show last week, but we're here to talk sports and all things that's good about sports. So CT3, what you want to talk about first? Should we talk Cubs since that's like the most recent thing?
I guess we can talk about that. That's probably the most recent thing.
Yeah. So look, like I was very excited for the Cubs. Congratulations, Chicago. All you Cubs fans from Chicago and the greater Chicago area. I know you've been waiting 108 years. Congratulations. Have fun. I saw that y'all crazy. We saw that trust fall video. Did you see that trust fall video? Like where people were like going on like night lampposts and just like falling in the crowd.
No, I did not.
You should see that, dog. It's crazy. Like it's crazy. Like
it's crazy that 100 some years, 108.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was watching the game.
I was watching the game.
And I saw the score.
Actually,
I got a notification
on my network in the car
saying that they had tied it up
in
in the bottom of the eighth.
Right.
The Indians had tied it up.
The Indians had tied it up.
Okay.
And I was like, okay.
Right.
But I was tired, and
I was tired, and I was watching the game, and
oh Lord,
like
the Cubs might win this
one.
And I thought
8-7.
Yeah,
I didn't end up watching the whole end of the game, but
it's an interesting thing because now they have the Cleveland baseball team, the Cleveland basketball team, they've been on both sides of a deficit.
Yeah, man.
But it's good that I'm not the greatest baseball fan, but it's good to see a team that won in 100 years win. So.
Yeah, man. It's great. It's great for them, man. I'm right there with you, man. You know, I came home. I had to come home. I don't know where I was coming from. Bible study from church, and like I'm not the biggest. Like I follow baseball towards more the playoffs and stuff. Like I keep up with it, but I don't really watch it at the same time. But I was happy. Like I watched the end of the game when they tied it up, and then it started raining. And they covered the tarp, and like I was all like, well, ain't this like the Cubs game? It starts raining and everything, and I was all like, I'm going to bed because we ain't know how long that rain delay was gonna last, and I had to go to work the next day. So I wake up and I see Chicago won. Like I'm happy for them, man, because like it's been a while since Chicago could celebrate something. I know the White Sox won, but that's a different part of Chicago, because North Side and South Side. I'm happy because they haven't won anything in a while, and the Cubs won. Now all they need is a Bulls win. They haven't seen that in a while either. So
I don't know. With those signing D-Wade and Rondo and some of the guys, sports is ever-changing world.
Yeah, man. I mean, you have various different things with that, and I'm excited for the Cubs. It's an exciting time to be in Chicago, man. The Bulls are back. People had low expectations for the Bulls, but they're back. D-Wade dropped 35, and he's looking like a new man. It's amazing what anger can do. Like anger revitalized.
And I'm a little butthurt.
Right.
But watching him during the playoffs last year, he had some fire underneath his belt. And so it hurts to see him, not necessarily. Why can't I see him putting up 35 on the Miami? And so you have the Heat signing Tyler Johnson to a $40 long contract, and then going to sign Max Deal. And so it's interesting because I want D-Wade to do well, but at the same time, the fact that he's
y'all that's not the same division, right? That's the Central and the South and the Southeast, right? Bulls and Heat aren't in the same division, but I know there's that rivalry though. Yeah, man. I mean, it's a shame that they let egos get in the way, man. Because I'm a Heat fan myself. I've loved the Heat for a while, since Mourning and Tim Hardaway.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Yeah. So like, I've always loved the Heat, and so like it's a little weird to see Dwayne Wade in Chicago, back home. Obviously, he's home, but like it's a little weird to see him in Chicago. Even though like I think it's gonna be good for Jimmy Butler to learn from Dwayne Wade. I think it's gonna help him ultimately. Like obviously, it's gonna help Chicago, but it's gonna help Jimmy Butler too, because I think he gonna learn under Wade and Rondo, because between the two of them, that's 4 championships. So he gonna learn from them, and I think the Bulls are gonna be a good team. They're deep bench wise, I was very surprised they traded Dunleavy, but I guess they got Dougie McBucket, so I guess they good. But yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
But another thing is the Sixers, man.
You trust the process?
Well, you had to watch the game. And he really even in his limited time. I think they're limited him to 25 minutes. But he put up some points. Had a few good blocks. But he it's funny. My little brother said this. He always watch it. Know more about sports than I do sometimes. But he was talking about how I think it was some of the commentators were talking about how Joel Embiid's jump shot improved. He can contribute that to the fact that he was injured for so long, and all he could do was shoot. He couldn't do layups and all that until I guess it was his foot. Until that was completely healed. And I think he was 4 from 3. Hit a three at the end of the third quarter. So I really like what I'm saying.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I do too. Like I'm pleasantly surprised that Joel Embiid was. I had expected him because I saw him when he played for Kansas. He was a good player, right? But now just seeing like his innate ability to be able to like he's a true big man now. Like I haven't seen anybody who can be able to cross you up and shoot a 3. And like it's just like Dirk Nowitzki, and he's 7 foot. He's a legit 7 foot. Like he's not like. Yeah, he's not like Kevin Durant, where with Kevin Durant you gotta add his arm length to account for his 7 foot. He's a legit 7 foot who can step back and shoot a 3. Yeah.
First.
Yes.
my loyalty to the Sixers. Trust in the process.
Oh yeah, man. Like I am pleasantly surprised, man. Like I was talking to one of my friends on the phone, like, like we have a chance to be like, we're not there yet, but we have a chance to be like young San Antonio back in the day, where like you got Embiid and Okafor, and they could be like even though they're not here anymore, the Twin Towers, but they could be. We could call them the Comcast Towers, whatever. Like and like with those two, you can build around those two. I know we was talking earlier. Y'all was saying that they're gonna trade Noel or Okafor. I really think Noel's the one who's gonna be traded. Like the Sixers need more shooting around them. So I would trade Noel for a shooting guard or a point guard. That's what we need. We need more shooting.
Well, the interesting thing about Noel Okafor is his defense. We know he can play offense. He's got an NBA body. He had an NBA body in high school. But the question is whether he will become, an elite defender or even maybe just an average defender. So if he can do that, or if the coaches and the rest of the coaches that believe that he can become somewhat of a formidable defender, and I think this goes for Jalil and Ben Simmons. Then I think you got to trade Noel. Now, if they see that he's going to be a Greg Monroe when it comes to defense, then I think you got to trade Jalil. To be honest with you, you're going to get more for Jalil than you're going to get for Nolan.
Right. But you can't, like, they need, for me, like, I know you're going to get the more valuable person is Okafor, but I wouldn't trade Okafor, man. Because, like, Okafor the type of person, like you say, he needs to work on defense, but he's the type of person that if you trade him, he's going to come back to bite us so hard. Like, because he can only really go to Chicago, right? And so, like,
Jalil could go to Chicago.
Yeah, because that's his hometown.
Okay.
So, like, he can only really go to well, I mean, obviously there are teams that would love him. I'm sure the Lakers would trade half their team for him, but.
No, I mean, the only player that I think the Sixers would be willing to trade for Jalil would be Jordan Clarkson. To be honest with you, I wouldn't mind.
True.
But the Lakers are sort of in the sense that they were previously tanking, and now they seem like they. The process is making it more headway now. And right. The Sixers showed that tonight. And then last night, last night, we saw the Lakers basically blow out the Warriors.
Right.
So I mean, as much as sometimes thinking might be bad, or might even be bad basketball. We've got two examples now, starting to come to fruition with the Lakers and the Sixers.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm happy for the Sixers. The Lakers, we'll see. I think it's good now that those rookies have a chance to shine without Kobe Bryant. And I like Kobe, but last year it was all about him. And now those rookies can shine now. And, like, with Brandon Ingram, they should be good. But they're probably going to need some more veteran leadership, too. But I don't know. Luke Walton was a good hire for them, so,
Yeah, that Luke Walton hire was interesting because a lot of people were Luke Walton started the Warriors off last year. But I think a lot of that
you can
contributes to
contribute
just great
to
players on
the
the
great
team.
players on the team.
But the Lakers definitely
Right.
have a good coach.
But the Lakers definitely have a good coach and Luke Walker.
Right. Like, truthfully, that's like the Lakers. There was only really 3 teams he could go to. He could either become coach, wait his turn, and become coach of the Warriors. He could go to the Trailblazers if they ever fired Terry Stotts, and he could go to the Lakers because those are the 3 places. He coached the Warriors. His dad played for the Trailblazers. He could really only go 3 places.
Right. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
If we're being for real about like where he actually like where his roots are, that's the only 3 places he could have gone. Or he could have gone back to Arizona where he played at, but I doubt it. So like, he's a good hire. And that was very, even though they split that series last year, the Lakers and the Warriors, that's unique because speaking of basketball, they got the super team, when it's just coming together. Now I think early in the season, since it's real early, I think this is really the only time where like people are gonna get the Warriors because when that chemistry comes together, and you have Durant dropping 30, you have Curry dropping 30, you have Klay dropping 20. Like everybody's worried about Klay Thompson. Have anything to worry about with Klay Thompson? The person who's going to be the odd man out really and not getting their points is going to be Draymond Green. He's going to be the one not getting points.
I agree with you on that.
Because like most
at the same time,
most-
though, I think you had, for example, probably the most recent example of a super team would have been the Wade. And
And
somebody
somebody
had to take a back seat.
had to take a back seat.
That person that took a back seat
ended up being Chris Bosh.
And so in
And so, in
comparison, now you
comparison, now you have a team with 4,
essentially
essentially
superstars.
superstars.
So
somebody's
somebody's going to take a back
gonna
seat.
take a back seat.
You may have to
You may have to have
take someone a back seat.
someone
And
back
so
seat. And so,
if you think about
if you think about
the greater players,
the greater players
or
in this big 4,
Steph Curry and
Steph Curry and
I don't know if
I
Klay
don't know
take a
if
back seat
Klay has to take a back seat per se,
because he's more of a
because he's
shooter.
more of a shooter.
So he
So
can
you can kind of fit into that role of a back seat better.
So
Right.
you're right in
So
saying that
you're right in saying that Draymond Green is probably going to, in terms of points scored, he's going to
take the back
take the
seat.
back seat.
And which I
And
think
which I
he'll be
think
fine
he'll
with.
be fine
I
with.
don't think they really need him
And I
to
don't
They really
think
need him to play
they really need
defense
to play
and be
defense and be
that energy guy.
that energy guy.
right. Well, they're gonna need Draymond Green. See, Draymond Green, even though he'll be taking the back seat points wise, he really won't be taking the back seat because like defensively and like getting the people together, that'll be him. And so I feel like the Warriors are going to they're gonna flirt when it gets later in the season because the reason they got KD was because last year, when Steph Curry was injured, that system that Steve Kerr has depends on a healthy Steph Curry. And like last year, you saw it really didn't work, especially in the finals when Steph was on his bum ankle. But like now that they have Kevin Durant, it's gonna be better because Kevin Durant is gonna be more of the closer. So like I would expect the Warriors are gonna work sort of like the Shaq and Kobe Lakers when they went back to back to back, where it was like, Steph Curry is going to carry them to the regular season and for most of the playoffs. But when they get to the finals, I'm hungry for that title, man. I'm telling you right now. When they get to the finals, and because I saw it when he was playing Russell Westbrook. I think we're going to see it again when they play the Cavaliers. But like Durant, he got no worries now. Like he don't have to carry a whole city anymore. Like in Oklahoma City, it was him. Like he was that whole city and that whole franchise. And like now you can see he's playing loose. He's happy for like the first time on the floor. You can see it. And like people people say he's weak for joining the Warriors, but that's what we do, man. We really don't like. If everything was fair, right, and we considered if we look at our Mount Rushmore, our top 5, our top 6 players, they lead in points, they lead in rebounding, and they have rings. Nobody has Karl Malone in their top 5. Nobody has John Stockton in their top 5. Nobody has Charles Barkley in their top 5. Like, if you look up most people's common top 5, I know I'm making a huge assumption, and the comment section is probably on fire right now. But like, you know, you'll have Jordan, you'll have Kareem, you'll have Magic. Russell's probably not on there, but he's at least in the top 6. You'll have Worthy. You'll have somebody. Most of your top 5, maybe your first top 4 are have rings. But if everything's equal, like, I can't knock Kevin Durant for chasing rings. That's what I want my superstars to do. If you can't win it on your own, yeah, go chase rings. That's what LeBron did. Chase your rings.
That's true. That's true.
You know?
I think Are you getting a lot of feedback?
I'm sorry.
Nah, you're good.
I think I'm hearing
feedback.
I might be hearing you. But I think a lot of people who are upset with Kevin Durant. Most of the people who are upset with him. And the same way a lot of Cleveland fans felt when I think there was a better, there was a more tight connection between LeBron. But when KD left, people were like, what is going on? Because you think about it, they were up 3-1 on the Warriors. They were one away from being in a championship. Now I don't believe they would have beat the Cavs. I think the Cavs' chemistry is on too high of a level. But
right.
But I'm not necessarily mad. If he really felt like the Warriors was the best, gave him the best chance of winning a championship, why do you blame him? Like some of the greatest players ever don't have rings. They won. They still on that team. Perfect example. Somebody like John Stockton and what's his name? The middleman or whatever his name is. Yeah, Karl Malone, right? Yeah, Karl Malone, right? He played on the Jazz for his whole career, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Nah, he was on. Him and Gary Payton were on that Super Lakers team with Shaq and Kobe.
Okay. But that was correct.
Right.
And if you think, most of it's prime was with the Jazz, and really, if you think about it, that's probably one of the greatest point guard big man combos. Or tandems. But he never got a ring. And I think that's because the mindset of NBA players has changed nowadays. And because free agency has changed.
Right.
So, seemingly had a great connection with the city, or maybe born in the city playing in. Leaving that city is not as big of a deal anymore, at least to non-fans of that team.
Right.
So that's my opinion on KD. I think he did the right thing. And as an NBA player, he was protecting his brand and chasing a ring.
Right. The lovable loser brand only works. And see, basketball is a team sport, but it's also the ultimate individual sport. That's why the two richest, if you look at the two richest places you want to play, it's the MLB, because there is no salary cap in baseball. Most people don't know that. There's no salary cap in baseball. So that's why you see, like, Alex Rodriguez being able to get $500 million for 5 years and stuff like that. Like, the leagues you want to play in baseball, you want to play in basketball. Because they get the contract, and then they get the sneaker and the shoe deals. So, like, yeah, for his brand, it's good for him. Like, if you think about it, it's a win-win for both him and Westbrook. So now Westbrook can be in that Kobe AI mode where, like, oh, nobody, like, I'm going to stay here forever. And he can enjoy that mode and not have a ring and be right there with AI, Kobe, and everybody else. I know that's blasphemy because we're from Philly, but let's be real. Like, I love AI. I'm glad he's in the Hall of Fame. In Philly too long. Like, he really did. Like, and I know free agency is different, like you said, but, like, he stayed in Philly too long. Like, he spent most of his career here. Then he got traded to the Nuggets, but by then, it was too late. Like, if that was 2001 AI with 2005, 2007 Carmelo, they would have won a championship. Like, but, you know.
Fair point. I think
what was going on with the Sixers was
he had good coaching.
And
And you had a good player in there. And he had solid players around him. But I think AI was able to carry the team on his back. But we all know that it's impossible for one player to do everything and win a championship. You know, I don't think Kobe won his with Shaq on the team. LeBron had to go to Miami for his first ring. And I think we'll see with KD that he is going to have to. I mean, he went to the Warriors, and I think this will be the way he gets his first ring.
Right. Well, listen.
Wade got his first ring with Shaq. You know, it's really impossible for one player. I mean, unless this player can, you know, have an out-of-body experience, play every position to win a championship by himself.
Right. Well, you know, like, most people put too much emphasis on that. Like, it's a team with one dominating player that gets helped out by superhuman efforts. Like, if you really want to get technical, Chris Bosh and LeBron really owe one of their rings to Ray Allen. Because if he didn't hit that shot, and if Chris Bosh didn't get that rebound, Miami Heat would only have one ring.
That's very true. That was just Ray Allen was watching that video. Yeah, and so it's like you had to have some role players on the team in order to win the championship. And it can't just be one player who's scoring 35 points every game.
Right.
And so that's how KD felt. He felt that even though with the combination of him and Russ, the best thing for him to do was to go to the Warriors and try to win the championship.
Well, I also think KD wouldn't have left if Russell Westbrook would have passed him the ball more. Like, there was so many times these past few years where I watched KD be wide open and Westbrook just sit there and shoot the shot. And to all you Westbrook fans that are in the comment section or gonna hear this later, call your boy out. I'm telling you the truth. You can look at the video. He does not pass. You see that now. Everybody's all like, oh, look, Russell scored 51 points, got 13 rebounds, and had 13 assists. How many times did he shoot the ball? 40 times. There you go.
Well, see, the thing about that is, I think Russ is like a mixture of AI and Kobe.
Right.
So,
right. I don't disagree.
Although he's getting triple-double, his turnover, he does turn the ball over, but that's because the coach is wild.
Right.
I think the exception here is that Russ has to have shooters. KD's a shooter. KD is also a guy who needs the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
And so the whole Victor thing on OKC kind of confused me because Oladipo is kind of a point guard. I think what OKC needs to do is they need to get good shooters who are also they're not just shooters. You need guys who are like Draymond Green, which is hard to find. But you need guys like Draymond Green who can give you 25 points in one night, and then the next night he only needs to score 10. But he's gonna give you that energy every night and play defense. And Russ is a combination. You know, he's a combination of energy, defense, offense, rebounding. But they need somebody else on the team who is willing to take that back seat. Kevin Durant obviously wasn't because he left.
Right. Well, with Oladipo's there because he's there to play defense. That's really what he's there for. He's there to add defense with occasional offense. This is basically this is what OKC was always going to end up being, the Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant show, especially after they got rid of Harden. Like, that team was on the decline as soon as they traded Ibaka in the summer. Like, because that was their defense right there, Ibaka. Once they traded him to Orlando and did the trade, which I didn't understand either, why you would trade Ibaka for Oladipo. But, okay. Sam Presti and them are way smarter at basketball than me or you. But they trust in their process, man. They got rid of Harden, they got rid of Ibaka. I don't think they would have gotten rid of Ibaka if they knew Kevin Durant was going to jump ship in July, like a month later. But
somebody joined and left.
But yeah. So, but I think that they'll be fine. But I don't know, man. My two surprise, not to change subject a little bit, but saying on basketball. What's your two surprise teams? Like, if you could pick two teams, who you think are gonna surprise us?
You talking about NBA team?
Yeah.
I think one is Utah Jazz. I think the Utah Jazz are gonna be scary now. They got a lot of talent, and then they also got guys like Derek Favors. What's the other guy? The white dude. Small forward.
Hayward.
Yeah, Gordon Hayward. And so I think that they're going to be scary. It's I don't have words for it because it seems like a little while ago when they had Dan Williams and those guys, they were a pretty good team, and then all of a sudden they just kind of fell off. All of a sudden they're building their way back up. So I'm looking forward to them this year. Another team that could do something is the Bucks. I'm interested to see how Giannis is playing point guard this year. He's 6'11"? So he's going to be a problem. He put up, in his time starting last year, he put up 20 points and 7 assists, which is something, you can't see, elite players do. So those are two teams that I think will really surprise people. Maybe you won't necessarily surprise people, but they're definitely teams that on a regular NBA season that people kind of who cares about the Bucks?
You kind of stole one of my teams, but you got the Utah Jazz. I'll give you that. I think. Well, going on the East, I think the Miami Heat are going to surprise a lot of people. I know it's going to make you happy. The Miami Heat are going to surprise a lot of people because a lot of people are counting your team out because they feel like without Dwayne Wade, there's no leadership on that team and there's no depth. But I'm here to tell you that Hassan Whiteside, that is the second coming of Alonzo Mourning. Like that is. Oh. Got me? I'm good? Yeah, I'm here. You hear me? Trey?
Yep, I'm still here.
You go ahead.
Oh, good. Sorry about that, y'all. What was I? Oh, so I think the Miami Heat are going to surprise a lot of people. I think because of Whiteside and Justice Winslow and Goran Dragic, they'll still have a team. Josh Richardson, he's going to make strides again. Offensively, they're good because of Whiteside. And Justice Winslow, you know, a lot of people don't talk about Winslow, but he's good. He's a good pick. Like, he's a top 10 pick. This is his second year. I think he's going to make a lot of strides, especially without Wade and Bosh now. It's basically his team. It's basically his Whiteside and Dragic's team. And I think they'll do well. So I think that he have enough to be a top 6 seed in the East. I don't think they'll go any lower than 5 or 6. And I think on the West Side, I think the Phoenix Suns. You know, I think the Phoenix Suns will do well because they've been on the cusp for a while, and I think this is the year that they get a 7, 4, and 8 seed. They'll be right up there competing with Utah for both spots. But I think with Eric Bledsoe and, you know, Devin Booker, and all the people that they have, they're gonna make some strides too. And I think they're gonna be a little fierce little team with the shooting they have. Excuse me, with the shooting they have and everything. I think they're gonna be really good. So
I agree.
Those are my two teams.
I agree.
Those are my two teams. Let's switch. You ready to switch gears to football? Appease our football fans.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. So what you think, man? You know, the trade deadline came and went, and the only person that went somewhere was Jamie Collins. You know, he's the Patriots defensive end that they wound up trading because he wanted too much money.
Right. I think the whole Alshon Jeffrey trading for the Eagles.
Right.
I think it was too hard to get done. Because first of all, you had to pay Alshon Jeffrey 11 to 12 million. I believe so, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And you'd have to give a high draft pick. And I guess the Eagles were, willing to not trade for Alshon and keep whatever draft picks they have, and stick with the wide receivers they have. It's interesting when you think about pedestrian wide receivers next year. But other than that, I just don't believe that trade would have happened. I don't see that the Bulls. I'm still thinking about the Bears would just give up such a great talent is Alshon Jeffrey, although he would have been great trade value. So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens down the line with the Eagles and their ability to get another wide receiver somehow. But Alshon Jeffrey just was out of the question.
Well, I think that they were very close to getting Alshon Jeffrey. Like all the rumors that I was hearing, or that everybody was hearing, was that they were close. But he wouldn't sign an unofficial deal. Like I think he'll be. I said this earlier before we went live, and I'll say it again because so the audience can hear. I think he'll be the Eagles' top person to get during the free agency this year. Because I don't think he wants to be on the Bears anymore. Who would? They're 1-5 or 2-5 now. Sorry, Bears fans. I forgot y'all beat the Vikings on Monday, 2-5. And
they beat the Vikings on Monday. I didn't know that.
Oh, they beat the Vikings on Monday. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they beat the Vikings on Monday. So they're 2-5, and I think he's tired of losing. Like he's 24. He needs to go somewhere else, and I'm hoping he comes home to Philadelphia because I think Carson Wentz. I think him and Carson Wentz. A lot of people remember Donovan McNabb and T.O. I think like Carson Wentz with him, like we haven't seen Carson Wentz's deep ball since he got intercepted by the Lions. I don't know if he's scared to throw it, but he can throw a deep ball. I just think like he just needs a good receiver, a fast receiver. And the only receivers I think we should keep as far as the Eagles are concerned is I think you keep Dorial Green-Beckham because of his last name. Keep Jordan Matthews because you need Jordan Matthews. He's big, he's fast, he's reliable, he's not dropping the ball. He's our most consistent wide receiver, so you got to keep him. But like, Aguilar is like our best wide receiver trade value. Like, if we're going to trade anybody, it should have been Aguilar. But I guess Peterson still has faith in him. But like, like you said, and I agree, it is interesting. Yeah, they don't need Torrey Smith. They don't need Alshon Jeffrey. We'll stick with the players we have and hope Wentz makes the best of it. And I hope that this is the last, because I watched it 10 years with McNabb. I don't want to watch 10 to 12 years of Wentz struggling with receivers that aren't reliable, like I had to do with Donovan McNabb. I hope they get Wentz a wide receiver, and they don't get him one in free agency. They go get him one in the draft, a playmaker. Like, pick needs to be on a wide receiver. If you can't handle it in free agency, it needs to be on the wide receiver. Like, number one priority for the Eagles, the wide receiver. The defense is taken care of. We always take care of the defense in free agency. It's time to take care of the offense now. Like, it's time. We need an offensive lineman, a center. Basically, this is what we need. We need somebody to replace Peters and somebody to replace Kelce. I love Kelce. He follows me on Twitter. Thanks, Jason Kelce. I love Jason Kelce, but it's time to get him a replacement because half our penalties on the offense are on him. So it's time to get him a replacement. But yeah, I thought it was interesting that they didn't trade. They needed to trade, but they didn't. So it shows some faith in the wide receiver core, which is interesting, like you said. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
The Eagles should definitely make their priority wide receiver. And offensive line.
Right. Yeah, it's time. Even though I hate it, I give the Cowboys. Even though I hate them, I'll give the Cowboys credit. They spent the last 2 to 3 years drafting their offensive line, and look at their offensive line. It used to be back a couple years ago where there was a debate between who had the best offensive line. Was it the Eagles or was it the Cowboys? Right now it's the Cowboys. I hate saying it, but right now it's the Cowboys. But we need to draft more people. That's what we need to do. So Who you got? Who you got tomorrow, man? 1:00, New Jersey. The New Jersey / New York Giants. Who you got? Who you got?
Well, I got the Eagles, and the reason why is I think this week, the Eagles are going to get back on track on offense. They showed defensively what they can do last week against the Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott wasn't himself. I mean, he had that one run that got called back on the penalty, but the Eagles defense stepped up last week, and I think it was really the offense, and I think we can attribute that to drop passes and then Carson Wentz holding the ball a little too long. So I think the Eagles offense gets back on track. The defense, I think, is gonna destroy this Giants offense without a running game, and that's the other reason why I think the Giants do not have a running game whatsoever, and they haven't had a running game for I don't know how long. Eli Manning has been struggling so far this year. Odell Beckham Jr. has been struggling. And I really look forward to seeing the Eagles putting a whooping on the Giants. Maybe reminiscent of what we saw them do against the Steelers.
Well, they gotta trash somebody, CP3. They really do, man. They gotta. I've been waiting for the Eagles to start trashing people since they lost to the Lions and the Vikings. Well, we beat the Vikings. I've been waiting to see the Eagles trash somebody. I really do hope they trash the Giants. Because, like I said, we can't be 0-3 divisionally. It's like, unless Jason Garrett royally screws this up, Prescott for the rest of the year, there's no way the Cowboys, and I hate saying this, because you know how much I hate the Cowboys. But it don't seem like with Dak Prescott they're gonna lose. I hope the Browns show some Cleveland pride and whip up on the Cowboys, but I doubt it. And with the Eagles, I have the Eagles too. I'm not gonna pick it up against my hometown team. I think because the Eagles need to win the game because next week they play the Falcons, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they can stop the Falcons. I really don't. So they need this win. They need to win against the Giants in 3, and then have a good showing against the Falcons. Just don't get blown out. That's the motto next week. But for right now, I think they'll beat the Giants. They really only have to worry about Odell Beckham. Eli Manning is a turnover machine. He throws every other pass he throws is an interception. So Brett Favre and his brother, he would be the top quarterback in turnovers. So I will gladly. They're playing the perfect opponent to blow out the Eagles are. So hopefully they will blow out the Giants. Be 5-3 and then put on a good show at home against the Falcons. Now I know that game doesn't happen until, but Eagles are 3-0 when they come back home to Philly. But I temper your expectations next week. They're playing the Falcons. Hope that we win against the Giants. So,
Yep. Same. Yeah, feel the same way. We need to. This is a very important game. This is a very, very important game for the Eagles to win against the Giants. It's going to be a tough game against the Falcons, and then I believe after that we have the Seahawks, if I'm not mistaken. But in terms of logistically for the Eagles, if they were to lose this game against the Giants, and then I believe play Atlanta at home, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be tough for them to go into a game like that without any confidence, from the previous week.
I think that they need to just take it one game at a time, guys. I think we're definitely going to beat the Giants. We beat them the last 8 times we played them. So like we're going to beat the Giants. I just think they need to know that this is a must-win game because next week they play the Falcons. So they need to know that this is a must-win game. That's what this is, guys. This is a must-win game. Let's be real. This is a must-win game for the Eagles. It's a must-win. So what do you think? Changing the topic a little bit. So what do you think of? What else I want to talk about? Oh, what do you think about this whole, penalties in the NFL? Richard Sherman came out and said it's the no fun league. That's why nobody's watching. They flag us for celebrations. What you think about that? You think Goodell should let him live?
Well, let me see this before. We're hold on a second, Kyler. Sorry about that. But I didn't lost my track. What were we talking about? Kyler?
Yeah, I was saying that what do you think about Goodell and Goodell flagging the celebrations and Richard Sherman coming out saying the ratings are down because it's the no fun league?
Oh, right. Yeah. I know this is probably going to be the last thing we talk about because we're getting a little tired, But I think as injuries get more, as we see more injuries in the NFL, I mean, it's only it's inevitable that more penalties are going to get called because we're not playing in the the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and so although there's a lot more penalties now, I think I don't think that's the idea of the no fun league. I don't think that has anything to do with the increase in penalties.
So I think that the penalties thing. I think the penalties is a natural. I agree with you. I think the penalties is a natural thing where you have different people doing different things. So the NFL wants to protect their players because they're tired of getting sued for concussion. So you're gonna have more penalties when you go to the head because these players, they've been trained to tackle and hit in a certain way, and that's what they're gonna do, unfortunately. And that can't be stopped. But I think though, penalizing people like Antonio Brown for twerking, penalizing them for celebration, that's what I used to love about football. I used to love seeing Terrell Owens get a touchdown and then go celebrate and go wild and stuff. I understand that you gotta regulate some things, no gang signs. Obviously, that makes sense. But I think that you should let them celebrate. Honestly, I only think you should penalize players. Obviously, if you're hitting people low, you're going for the head. Yes, penalty all the time, penalty. But I don't think they need to regulate everything. I think that they can let them celebrate. Celebrations is why we watch football. In Madden, I can go score a touchdown, somersault, go celebrate, and everything. There's no penalty in the game. In the video games, there shouldn't be a penalty in real life when they do their celebration. It's the no fun league and everything. And I think the NFL, the ratings thing. The funny thing about the ratings thing, and this will probably be the last thing we talk about. Yeah, I agree with you because I'm getting a little tired myself. But the ratings thing is a combination of a couple things. It's like a combination of, no celebrations. It's a combination of the whole anthem protest, because I've seen a lot of people, like, say, boycott the NFL because, kneeling is such an offensive thing, but, people can still watch their favorite players when they're getting concussions, when they're beating up women, when they're committing crimes and everything else. We don't take no moral stand for that. We'll definitely take a moral stand when we feel you're disrespecting a flag, an inanimate object, by the way. Respect to all the men and women. I have family in the military and all that stuff. Respect to all the men and women who die fighting for our freedoms and everything. No disrespect to them. But, we live in a country where there's freedom of speech. You can feel free to disagree. But, the kneeling thing, I think that's a big reason for the ratings drop because, some people just don't want politics in their sport, but they still watch sports and everything. So, I feel like the ratings thing is a combination of a couple of things. But I feel like the league needs to not regulate celebrations. I feel like that's the one thing that you don't have to regulate. I don't think you should be penalized for celebrating. I think getting a touchdown is a good thing. You should be able to celebrate within reason.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'll say that. I agree with that. There is a combination of factors in, the decrease in ratings. I'll definitely say that one is definitely the whole Colin Kaepernick. How he started this whole protest of the national anthem. Whether it's kneeling or raising a fist. I think that is part of the decrease, and that's a whole nother political topic. Another thing someone mentioned is this election going on right now. And you've had two elections that were on Sunday nights that were on at the same time as, major football games. So I think that's another part in the decrease in, NFL ratings. People are so, I think people are generally in a bad mood. We've got this bipartisan political system, and people are like, do I vote for Hillary or do I vote for Trump? And they don't know what to do. And another thing with the whole NFL decrease in ratings is I think fans have changed. Nowadays you have one team, you have one team fans. You don't have a lot of NFL fans or a lot of people who are just straight up football fans and will watch any game. And I think that's because, people just want to see their team succeed. If their team doesn't win, they're a little bit upset. They're like, I'm not going to get my Dunkin' Donuts coffee. But so you got the whole national anthem protest. You've got this whole election going on. And then you've just got a change in, how fans think about football. I think those are three of the biggest reasons why NFL ratings have decreased. And I really don't think it has necessarily anything to do with, more penalties or, and I do agree with you on the fact that the NFL shouldn't necessarily be regulating celebrations unless they're derogatory or legitimately inappropriate.
Yeah, I agree with you. It is a combination of a lot of things, and this is not disclaimer before I say what I'm about to say. This is not political. This is not a political podcast. These opinions does not reflect the Crossover Podcast. This is specifically my opinion. But I feel as far as the politics, who to vote for. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. I'm just going to tell anybody who's undecided and is going to listen to this podcast, whether you're my friend or CT3's friend, and you're undecided and you're under the sound of my voice, I'm just going to tell you this. there's a commons candidate, and then there's the anarchy candidate. I'm not going to tell you which one it is. You can decide for yourself. I'm just going to tell you that there's a common sense candidate and there's an anarchy candidate. That's it. I agree with you that it's a multiple factors. Like we both said, I think we're in agreement on that. But yeah, like it's difficult to see this. And I specifically saw when the Redskins and the Eagles played, and like Vernon Davis scored a touchdown. He went and shot the thing. Did something that people have been doing since Tony Gonzalez. You know, he gave us a shortened field. Wendell Smallwood went on to score a touchdown and stuff. But like, yeah, the celebration thing, I think you don't need to regulate. And I think this might be the last point, unless you have something to add. Like the NFL, you know, obviously it's all about brand. It's all about protecting the brand. That's why they're trying to figure out why people aren't watching. They're trying to figure out like how to walk the fine line of, you know, saying like, you know, we live in a country where there's free speech and people don't like the deal in and everything. And like it's a tough road to be at when you're the number one sport. And we'll probably talk about this next week. Just to think about this, you can hit us up on Twitter at Kylan W. Watson. That's at KYLAN W Watson, WATSON. Hit us up on Twitter. I don't know if Trey, if you want to give out your Twitter or your Facebook or whatever, so they can hit you up later. But you know, next week we'll talk about, you know, with the ratings decrease. Do you think you know, will basketball, will the NBA catch up and reclaim the number one spot, be on their ludicrous reclaim the number one spot from the NFL? We're not going to discuss this later because CT3 and I are running on fumes as far as not being tired. But you know, unless you have something to add, Trey, we thank you for listening to the first episode of the Crossover Podcast. You know, there'll be more. Hopefully next week there'll be more of us to discuss. More things to discuss. There's definitely more people. We keep a steady rotation of 4 more people that weren't able to be here. Shouts out to them for doing this. Thank you, CT3, for helping me out with the technical difficulties and keeping the podcast keeping the podcast alive. Thank you everybody for listening. Trey, I'm gonna send it over to you if you have anything to add. Oh wait, one more thing. I write articles, sports journalist over here. WatsonSportsTake.com. Not.com. Yeah, .com. WatsonSportsTake.com. WATSON. Sports. Throw that in. We'll throw that in as well. Check out the articles. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for the support. Have a good night. It's all you, Trey.
Yeah, guys. It was a great time talking, you know, getting to talk about sports. First podcast I've ever done. I think this might be Kylan's first podcast. But yeah, definitely check out Kylan. He knows a lot about sports. He loves talking about sports. So definitely follow him on Twitter. I'm not going to tell you my Twitter because it's a little bit complicated. It's my name backwards. My name is Clarence Taylor. So you can search my name backwards. You can find my Twitter. But yeah, I hope we'll see you guys next week. And I think that's all I have to say.
Thank you guys so much. Have a good one.